workers in the health sector and people in high-risk groups. It is also available from medical practitioners in the private sector. The Ministry of Health has advised the public to practice general hygiene, including frequent hand washing and the covering of the nose and mouth with disposable tissue when coughing or sneezing. Government is establishing a formal relationship with the Barbados Renewable Energy Association. The announcement from Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy, Jehu Wilcher. This could be done as early as next week. Mr. Wilcher says partnerships will be critical to the development of the energy sector, and government appreciates all of the work the association has been doing.
Because we recognize that BREA has an important, well, not only BREA, but other regional NGOs in the Caribbean, they have an important role to play in terms of pushing this sector, which is really a new sector that essentially we are creating. And we recognize that there are hundreds of green jobs, and BREA came to us with a proposal about 2 years ago indicating that if we get this right, we can create a number of new entrepreneurs in this country, as well as a number, hundreds of green jobs. And that has been touted recently by the governor of the central bank.
Mr. Wilcher was speaking during a renewable energy workshop hosted by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute and BREA at the Caribbean Development Bank this morning. Executive Director of BREA, Clyde Griffith, believes Barbados has the capacity to help the Eastern Caribbean in its renewable energy thrust. He says the country is going in the right direction.
This is the opportunity through the energy sector, as Minister Nisbet said, to create clean new jobs. Think about it, clean new jobs in this sector. Very, very important for our economies. And indeed, I argue strongly that it is the only one area that will be the salvation of Caribbean economies if we do it right. I believe in that very strongly.
There has been a clear fall-off in consumption of fossil fuel-generated energy in Barbados. This from founder and chairman of Caribbean LED Lighting, Jim Reed. He says they've sold over 200,000 energy-efficient bulbs of various sizes, which translate into about 12 to 13 fewer barrels of oil imported each year.
A recent LED bulb giveaway funded by the IDB, $1 million Bajan, will allow us to give away 50,000 LED light bulbs, 6-7 watt LED light bulbs, which replace a 60 watt incandescent lamp. And those savings translate to $2 million a year savings to Barbados households over a 10-year period. The bulbs will last over 10 years. So that's $20 million saving for a $1 million investment. Now, we think that's smart investment. We've also partnered with Barbados Light and Power, and they can see the drop in consumption. And they said, actually, that's helping us because we don't have to invest in new generation capacity, and it helps us move towards a 100% renewable plan, which is what they want.
Mr. Reed was speaking to CBC News ahead of activities this Sunday to promote the use of alternative energy, specifically electric vehicles. The event, put on by the German entity JIZ, will be held at Bushy Park Racing Circuit from 2 p.m. Chetwin Rice says there is a deficit in knowledge about electric vehicles, which JIZ is attempting to change.
We will be able to educate the public from the insurance perspective. What are the insurance policies for electric vehicles from a banking perspective? How much would it cost to get a loan for this vehicle? And from an educational standpoint, how do they work? How long can you charge? How long can you go without charging? The different features, how do they differentiate themselves from fossil fuel to electric?
Mr. Rice says in addition to exhibitors, there will be races between electric and fossil fuel-powered vehicles, and patrons will be invited to test drive the vehicles as well. Well, there are about 100 electric-powered vehicles on the road, which puts Barbados among the handful of nations that has a large penetration of those vehicles. And now the German entity charged with the implementation of the Economic Partnership Agreement, or JIZ, wants to increase that number significantly. Executive Project Manager Dr. Rainer Ingalls says one of JIZ's main goals is the development of a smart grid management system. But he says for it to be effective, there will have to be more electric vehicles on the road.
The role within renewable energies is to be a kind of a storage facility for the grid. So electric cars will be charged overnight, and that's a time where there is energy production also when it comes to renewable energy, which can be taken up then, and so it can level the grid over the day.
Dr. Ingalls says about 44 million Barbados dollars has been distributed across the region to fund various renewable energy related projects. He talked about some of the tangible results from GIZ's partnership with Barbados.
There are companies who provide solar panels to be integrated into the system, and you need quite a lot of technology to link this to the grid and to have the whole system working. And those companies have their specific fields, and they work together with companies in the Caribbean so that this can be developed on a local level.
3 of the 4 young women who died in the horrific car crash near Illawarra Court 2 weeks ago will be buried next Tuesday. Reverend Dr. David Durant says the service for Shamika and Shakira Shepherd, as well as Waveney Johnson, will be held at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium at 1 p.m. People will be allowed to view the bodies of the 3 women from 11:30 until 12:55 p.m., during which time tributes will be paid. Shamika, Shakira, Waveney and Carrie Brathwaite all died in the early hours of Sunday, October 25th after their car ran off the road, careened into a tree and struck a wall before overturning. Shamika, Shakira and Waveney died on the scene, while Carrie succumbed to her injuries later at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. A 5th young lady, Nakisha Shepherd, was rushed to hospital late last week. Her father, Richard Holder, told CBC Nakisha had suffered a concussion and had a deep gash in her head. He said, however, she was recovering from her ordeal and the prognosis is good. We'll have more news ahead, but first we want to get your take on this question. Should incentives be given to Barbadians to buy more solar-powered products? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news.
So what's your idea of holiday happiness? Watching the kids open presents? Cooking in our new kitchen? The look on his face. Add to your holiday happiness with a loan from Scotiabank, and you could win a trip for 2 to Miami and other great prizes. Visit your Scotiabank branch today and talk to a representative about getting your loan. Contest ends January 15th. Conditions apply. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
What's this, you ask? Oh, it's just spreadsheet smashing, hedge trimming, dog walking, weekend away, show boating, gravity defying, tree chopping, glucose, knowledging, energy fueling, barbecuing, glucose refueling, engine revving, crowd surfing, home commuting, crocodile wrestling, explosion ignoring, awesome kind of energy. Whatever you do it with energy.
Here's your chance to win it in a minute with Double Draw. 2 lucky Double Draw players will be chosen to compete during the 653 Double Draw show. You could win $550 in cash and fantastic prizes. Enter today.
Well, tomorrow on the Friday edition of Morning Barbados, you get to find out all about an interesting program and project, Grow Well, Eat Well, Live Well. Jewel Ford will be along to tell you all about that. We'll also tell you about the work of Horseshoe Productions and what's in the future. And of course, there's a lot more that's going to be happening on Friday, Doug.
Absolutely. The culinary cuisine of NIFCA, National Independence Festival of Creative Arts. We're going to focus on that. And it's Friday, so it's all about that base tomorrow on Morning Barbados.
See you then.
Morning Barbados, good morning.
Every Wednesday and every Friday at 10:30 a.m. it's the Eddie Street and How Forward with yours truly. Up on 98.1 The One. I want to tell you what we have in store from Eddie's Supermarket, Eddie's Soul Sale, Eddie's 54, Eddie's Boutique, and LC Variety. The Eddie Street and How Forward Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. on 98.1 The One.
It's that time of the year again for Ahead of the Game. As the nation's students do battle, will Grantley Adams win the standoff against Leicesterbourne and Alexandra? Or will Leicesterbourne triumph over its opponents? Or will it be the Alexandra all the way? You'll be bowled over with this one. Join me, Sean Green, this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. for this year's edition of Ahead of the Game.
Two Jamaicans held attempting to smuggle marijuana into Barbados were handed hefty fines when they appeared in court. 33-year-old farmer Monique Magola Robinson and 31-year-old construction worker Jerome Tobin Burrell Powell arrived in Barbados on Tuesday. Customs officials searched Robinson's suitcase and found 2 packages of the drug weighing 2 kilograms. She pleaded guilty to the charges and was fined $50,000 forthwith or 2 years in prison. Powell had 3 packages of the drug weighing 3 kilograms hidden in his suitcase. He too pleaded guilty to the charges and was fined $60,000 forthwith or 3 years in prison. Crime Stoppers Barbados is denying any association with what it says are several false messages being circulated on social media like WhatsApp. In a release this evening, Executive Director Deverall Dupini says Crime Stoppers Barbados is strongly advising the person or persons who are sending these messages out to desist from doing so immediately. Mr. Dupini says official tips from Crime Stoppers Barbados can be obtained daily on the Crime Stoppers Barbados Facebook page. The public is being reminded that anyone with information on any crime can provide reports anonymously by calling 1-800-8477 or online at www.crimestoppersbarbados.com. As Barbados observes Road Safety Month, the Minister of Transport and Works, Michael Lashley, says his ministry continues its work to improve Barbados's road infrastructure. He says it's in an effort to provide a safe environment for all road users. Mr. Lashley's remarks came at the launch of Road Safety Month at the Sherwin Primary School.
This is done by constructing roundabouts at intersections, which were previously the scenes of frequent accidents, by installing road traffic calming devices, by realigning roads and sidewalks, and by increasing the amount of road markings and reflective signs, among many other measures.
Mr. Lashley says government will soon be embarking on an extensive project targeting road rehabilitation. He also signaled Barbados's commitment to the goals of the United Nations Decade for Action on Road Safety.
2 of the goals of the decades which are of key importance to Barbados are to reverse road safety trends and to reduce road fatalities by 50%. The second Global High-Level Conference on Road Safety will be convened later this month in Brazil. Ms. Boyne, in Brazil. However, the achievement of these goals is not a job for government alone.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, we want to hear from you on this question. Should incentives be given to Barbadians to buy more solar-powered products? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news. Now remember, you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC News Barbados.
Naturally better or just time for fun, bring out the sun. Nutritious, so delicious. Way less sugar, no artificial sweeteners. Orchard, natural choice. Orchard, with real fruit juice. Orchard, celebration in each pack.
Orchard 250 ml juice drinks now deliciously improved. Free of artificial sweeteners. More natural goodness with between 33 to 55% less added sugar. Orchard, a perfectly natural choice.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Value, convenience, we got it. 50 stores and services, yeah, we got it all. When it comes to you and your family, it's here in Haggett Hall. Sky Food Court, this mall has it all. Right here in Haggett Hall. Convenience for the family. Everything for you and me.
This week on Rejoice and Sing, they're passionate about their Lord and their music. They are Honor in Praise.
You say that I am free. How can it be?
We get up close and personal with Brooklyn-born, Bajan-bred Curtis Haywood.
That you have to be really creative in terms of how are you going to take care of home so you're not too easily pulled in and thrown in to the water, because that's what the industry will do.
Karen Francis is in the spotlight
And ask you for your guidance, especially today.
and we shake it up with Mercy Me. Join us. Rejoice and Sing, brought to you with the compliments of Sewing World Department Store and Black Image Cosmetique, number 4 and 5 Swan Street, for all your curtain needs this holiday season.
Nifka is for me, Nifka is for you, Nifka is for all majors to show what they can do. Nifka belongs to me, Nifka belongs to me, Nifka belongs to me.
Coming this Sunday on TV8.
Why are there cell phones in my class? I've told you time and time again not to bring those in here. So you have a choice, either put them away or I will take them away. I will not get them back until the end of the year.
Sir, I didn't start anything.
What do you mean you didn't start anything? It was you.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
Hello,
it was.
hello. That's enough for two of you. Go and sit down.
But sir, Dunay.
The government of Guyana has announced plans to set up a witness protection program. Minister of Governance Raphael Trotman said a witness protection bill is currently before a cabinet subcommittee and will be tabled in Parliament shortly. The bill will establish a program to protect witnesses who give evidence in Guyana's courts. He said the measures will include the provision of new identities and new housing arrangements. Mr. Trotman added that the initiative will see Guyana cooperating with other countries in the region that have already implemented the program. 3 regional agricultural organizations have agreed to work together in a number of areas, including conducting research to help boost the quality of agricultural production and market foods. To further advance the goal, the General Technical Cooperation Agreement was signed between the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute at the Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation. ICA and the Technical Center also signed a separate memorandum of understanding. Executive Director of CARDI, Barton Clark, is confident a number of issues will be addressed through the partnership.
They have assured me that they will be in the trenches with my organization, trying to support our efforts in research and development so that we can assist in increasing production, assist in increasing productivity, assist in meeting the challenges of the youth in agriculture, assist in addressing climate change, assist in increasing our capacity to be able to be producers of intellectual property, of new technology.
Sports is just ahead, but first here is a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Safety must be the fundamental guiding principle, and all efforts to support or help those in violent and abusive situations must be taken. This tip is brought to you in association with the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit and Faces of Violence in the Society.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing.
The Edgar Cochrane Polyclinic will host a number of activities to mark World Diabetes Day on Saturday, November 14th. During the week of activities, there will be line dancing at the Polyclinic on Monday, November 9th from 4:30 p.m., a market day on Tuesday, November 10th from 9 a.m., and healthy living lectures on Wednesday, November 11th from 10 a.m. Then on Thursday, November 12th, the Polyclinic will host an open day featuring interactive health talks and health checks. The week will culminate on Saturday, November 14th with a family